Hi, you guys. So hopefully you can hear me. I wanted to come in and just talk about a couple things that were related to this video that was released yesterday. Platform over at Fox Soul Queens. I don't know why I mess up that title every time I say it. The Queens of the Cocktails, the Cocktail Queens, whatever they call it. Um, they were talking. Have it. I'm gonna do, but she's entitled to do that. I think what's so funny is that the people that are making this argument for Kevin, that's to the point where he could say whatever it is he wanted to say. But sorry, yeah, if he can say all this great point about that, so I am gonna play what she said. Let me see if this is gonna work, child. That, like, what is he kidding me? Healing, healthy. This man was a hypocrite, in my honest opinion. He really was. I didn't find anything about him to be healing. He insulted African American women on a consistent basis. One of his last statements that he said was that if you're over 38 and you haven't married or something like that, you're no good and disposable. To me, it was a shock job. And, I hope this is teaching folks a lesson about the karma that you put out, the negativity that you put out in the world, that when karma comes knocking at your door, she might not be so kind. So, the fact that he killed over real quick and was supposedly with a woman that we don't yet know the nationality, um, rest in peace. So, yeah, that's what she said. And the minions here on YouTube and probably other platforms as well lost their mind. They decided to make all this commentary, and then some of them saying that she was wrong. It was in bad taste. You shouldn't say things of the dead and this, that, and the other. Let's remember who we're talking about. Okay. Like I said, it's kind of funny to me. And that people are not even listening to themselves. So you're giving Kevin Samuels that much authority over you to speak. I guess in their minds, he's speaking for them, but he's also speaking at them because that's basically what he was doing on that platform. Was sitting there, taking. He was supposedly taking questions and then pointing the finger and speaking down to people. He was not having a general conversation about life, about relationships, because like I said, he could have spoke from a personal place, you guys. He never spoke from his own experience. Okay? He spoke, I'm going to talk down to you because you need this. You need me to talk down to you. That's how he was talking to these women, and oftentimes it was women, and on occasions I guess before he went viral, he was doing it towards men as well. But he saw that the money came in when he was doing it to a specific woman, to the African American woman. Um, and so he decided, well, I'm going to ride this gravy train. It's not deep. It's not deep at all. And I agree with everything that she's saying. I call it thought shock, thought jocking. She said shock jock. And yeah, this is what the, people like, I think that's mainly in like New York, where you had the Wendy Williams and all these other people who would say all this stuff about people for the shock value of it all, right? And then people would start talking about it, and it's the same thing. It's just that people are doing this now on social media instead of on the radio. And so that's mainly that's all he was doing. That doesn't make him a hero to the Black community. That doesn't make him someone that the Black community needs to uplift and praise. We need to call that situation what it was and be honest in that, because we're making an impression on our children. We're making an impression on the world with that BS, okay, that y'all trying to run. Okay, I get it. He's dead. He's gone. You want to show respect to the dead. I think people really are giving that grace. You guys just don't recognize it. Okay, you're pretending like you don't recognize it, because a lot of women on this platform, a lot of people that he got into, male and female, really could have went ham. I mean, they could have went live and really just, the jokes really write themselves, and people are not telling them. Okay, they are showing grace. You just don't realize. You're trying to pretend like you don't recognize that people are showing grace, because the jokes really do write themselves. Because he said a lot of stuff that, and he is the first one to go. Okay, you the first one to go, and you was alone. You was in there in your apartment with a stranger. She didn't even know where you lived. She couldn't even tell the police where she was at. Okay, the jokes really write themselves, baby. So people are showing grace. Okay, so please cut the foolishness. And I think that the fact that Vivica is an African American woman, and she's saying what she said. Now, the minute one of these white folks go live and say the exact same thing that she's saying, you can hear a pin drop. Okay, and it's been white folks that have got on Kevin Samuels as well, and you hear a pin drop. You don't hear not one of these Black men saying not one single solitary thing. Okay, nor will they. But in the minute a Black woman says something, they want to run. They were ready to run the race. Real punk like activity. And then you want somebody to respect you. Then you want somebody to jump out here and act like we're supposed to be crying like Auntie Wanda from Good Times. No, we're not doing that. I don't cry at everybody's funeral because I don't know you, you know. So we're not doing that. I don't wish death on nobody. I don't wish ill will on nobody. But like I said, the man was just out here talking about, if you're 30 over 35, you're used, like she said, you're what did he say? He didn't say what she said. He kind of said, your leftovers, right? Your leftovers, so nobody wants you. But so what is a man over 35? What does that make him? What does it make a man that's over 50 that's never been married? What are y'all calling that? Regardless if they have children or not. And a lot of these guys, just because they have kids, don't mean that they ever tried to form a family with any of these women. Okay, so y'all don't want nobody to go in, because we can go in if we really wanted to. Where we are showing is way more grace than we need to show. Because, like, Derek just said in the last video I put up, Black women should not have to. We don't have to take nothing on the chin and turn our chin or whatever, however that saying go, turn our cheek or whatever, to none of this nonsense. We really don't. So please miss me with that. And she said what she said at the end of the day. And a lot of people was feeling like that anyway. So she put it out there. It's out there. Kevin Samuel was not nobody to uplift. He couldn't even live in his own truth. First of all, if we really want to go there, he was not telling the truth about his own situations. All that stuff that he was calling out, he's lived it. And that's why he's bitter. He's bitter that he had to marry two women who was making more money than him. Okay. And then they didn't want him, and for whatever reasons. Okay. He to struggle to get through life, apparently, because just looking at his paychecks and stuff, that's pretty much what he was doing. He was hustling the whole time that he was here, pretty much. And I'm not knocking him for that, because there's a lot of us in that situation, but I'm not out here lying about it. People were asking honest questions. When you're saying you're a high value man, where did you make this money from? When the Satan the Center broke all of that down. It's because when he the one came to YouTube with all of that. Black women didn't call Kevin Samuels to come to YouTube. Okay, so we're gonna cut the nonsense and we're gonna cut the finger pointing because he brought himself to YouTube. He set up that platform that way, and he's going to take responsibility and accountability for the things that he was saying and doing on that platform. And that's how that's supposed to go. That's not supposed to go, you going to hush up the Black woman. No, we're not doing that. And that goes for all of y'all. Period. Ain't nobody gonna be out here uplifting you when you go, when you out here acting an asshole. Just like she just said. That's it and that's all. The other part of what I was getting ready to bring up was this whole Hollywood connection. This is why I wanted to record this because I will go there, and I'm not even trying to spend a lot of time on this, but this clip came up from FX for the last season, I believe, of Atlanta, which I believe is Childish Gambino's, what's his name, Donald Glover's show. And it makes sense to me. It makes sense to me, like the people in the industry, in the music industry, and in Hollywood, who would embrace Kevin Samuels, right? It makes perfect sense to me that they would embrace someone who's saying and doing the things that he's saying and doing, right? And that's why for the fake people like O'Shea Duke Jackson, who's pushing this narrative that he cared, that Kevin Samuels cared about Black family, he did not. And he said that straight out. Most of those guys that are in the Black manosphere say the same thing. They don't care about the Black community, Black family. Even when he called himself going in on Cynthia G that time, he was saying certain things. And I don't know, I don't know if his videos are still up on his page. But he said a lot of things that made it very clear where he stood. And he was not someone who was uplifting of himself. He did not think highly of being Black. He did not think highly of Blackness. He's made that very clear of who he thinks should and deserves wealth, who he thinks should and deserves success. He's made that very clear what those people should look like. Okay. So we're not going to pretend like he didn't say those things, O'Shea. We're gonna hold him to his word. If you shouldn't be out here saying things that you don't mean, like Vivica said, this is it's an example of what not to do. Because, like I said, none of us know when our time is up. None of us know when we're going to be out of here. Okay? So you should live your life with some form of integrity. If you want people to address you as a certain way, otherwise, we're going to call it the way we're saying it. We're not going. Who's to say what he believed and what he didn't believe in what he was saying? No one can say that. But I'm going to play this clip, and it sounds like in the clip that they are mocking Robert Smith, the guy who paid the tuition, or the tuition for the class of 2019. I believe it was either 2019 or 2020. This is the Black billionaire. I believe it was for Morehouse, because I believe it was for all Black men. And so I'm going to show you guys the clip.
I am going to pay every senior's college tuition. Who's Black?
Who's auditions for this? He picking who's actually Black. Could you wait, Chicken?
How long can chicken sit on the stove?
Holy Spirit or the Holy Ghost.
Take this pencil, go make a beat on that table.
So yeah, they're mocking the guy who paid the tuition. So I guess the non-Black students are going to try to figure out how they can somehow pretend like they're Black to have their tuition paid, to get their tuition paid, right? Um, and I guess I would need to watch the full episode to really try to even say anything about it. But just from watching that, you already know it's a fool la la involved. Um, there are some people who just take issue with who they are. You know, they do. They take issue. They don't understand our history. They don't understand their story. They don't understand why it's important. They don't understand why it should be important to them. Um, and so I'm not going to go off on a tangent because I just wanted to bring this up that the clip was out there and that he was a part of that. And I feel like it's probably going to feed into some people and their conspiracy theories that people wanted to harm him. Because people on the back end, they probably knew he had things coming up, right? We saw him in the future video and I think a couple other things. You kind of knew that he probably was working towards the things. And like I said, I don't find it. I'm not shocked that Black Hollywood would accept a Kevin Samuels because a lot of these people they do think like that. You hear a lot of them speaking up for him, and they don't even know why. There's a lot of people say, "Oh, y'all didn't even watch Kevin Samuels, and y'all are talking about him." Well, a lot of y'all that's talking up for him, y'all didn't know him either because if you did, you wouldn't overlook that he was pretty much, you know, co-signing pedophilia or co-signing domestic violence and telling people not to listen to their children when they're telling them certain things are going on. Um, so I'm side eye. Like I said, anybody that's supporting him, I don't. I need 60 feet, 50 feet, or whatever to say it is. I need some distance. I'm not even looking in your direction for anything. Okay, you're pretty much saying exactly who you are and what you stand for. If you're saying you stand for the same stuff that he stood for, and trying to rewrite his story and all that stuff, it's too many videos that he put out here that already are out here of him saying certain things. Okay, and to my understanding, they're all over Facebook. They're all over Patreon. And so you can't, unless you guys are going to get permission from somewhere to go and erase all that stuff. It's out here, and a lot of other people may create content around it, around a lot of the stuff. And I hear one of the weirdos that's a part of the Black Manosphere over there talking about he's upset because Black women are rerunning some of their commentary and some of the stuff that he said, because he said it. So if he didn't mean it, he shouldn't have said it. He put these things out there, and so yeah, people are. That's who I believe him to be. I don't just because now I'm supposed to feel sorry for him because he's deceased. We're all gonna leave here. That doesn't change what his character was when he was here. So miss me with that. Let me know what you guys think about that. Do you think that people with seeing him on Atlanta, do you think that's going to kind of play more into the whole conspiracy theory that someone wanted to take him out? Because yeah, I'm sure a lot of those guys who've been on YouTube going at it for years and years and years. I know Tommy Sotomayor was saying, oh, he felt like because he was dark skinned, that's why people didn't want to embrace him. um, Here's my thing. This is the point that I wanted to make about the whole Hollywood thing as well. Um, is that there's a lot of young Black people, and I've already said this to an extent anyway. In one of my other videos, there's a lot of young Black people on here that has millions. They have millions of subs. They get hundreds of thousands of clicks a day. Why is Hollywood not embracing them? Can somebody answer that for me in the comments? Why is Black Hollywood not embracing those young kids? Why would you embrace someone who tore down, demeaned our people, demeaned our community? Because he actually he said things about when he was telling those girls that your man is your child's father is a loser. Who was he talking about? Right? Who in your mind do you think he was talking about when he said you was choosing bums, you was choosing Pookie and Ray Ray, you wasn't choosing right, and Pookie and Ray Ray this and Pookie and Ray Ray that. Who was he talking about? And who do you think that most people in this country have an image of when they see those people, when they hear him talking about that? So he tore down our community. He tore down things that he really didn't address properly in his proper context. Um, he made it sound like any Black woman with a child was a baby mama, or if she was single at 35, she was leftovers and this, that, and the other. People, just like he expired, people's husbands can expire, right? People get in car accidents all the time. Things happen in life. That doesn't mean that people set out to just run around doing things a certain way. And there, to me, at this point, there's no right or wrong. It's about us having a better discussion about how we could better serve ourselves as a people. I think the way he was shucking and jiving for clicks and views and stuff, it wasn't beneficial to our community. So I'm just asking, why would Black Hollywood think that somebody like that is somebody that they should embrace, but you shouldn't embrace some of these young brothers who not on here doing that, who are very talented, and they're not on here doing all of that. They're not on here with the shuck to the jive, right? They're not doing it. They're not talking down on Black women. They're not talking down on Black people. When they talk, they speak of everyone. They speak in a general sense because we all, as human beings, deal with the same things. If there are white women who are going to divorce her husband and walk out of that marriage with 2 or 3 kids, there are women of other nationalities that are doing the same thing. Why is it that when people are talking in a realistic fashion, they know how to address topics and generalize their conversation to every woman and to everyone? Why is it that those people are not being rewarded? Why is it that they're not rewarding a Crystal XO or rewarding a Zoe or rewarding some of the other kids on here, right? Like a Nicole TV or some of the other, like the other people that I named. Why is it that when you're gonna come pick somebody from YouTube land, you're gonna come and pick the biggest, weirdo that you can find, lack of better word, without me using some other words. So I'm just gonna say weirdo that you can find to uplift. Why? Can somebody explain that to me in my comments, please? I just wanted to put that out there because I thought that was interesting how, you would see Hollywood embracing a Kevin Samuels, but you don't see them embracing some of these other kids who have millions of subs, and they're getting millions of hits or hundreds of thousands of hits, or they're doing as well or better than Kevin Samuels, and no one's running to make sure that they're getting looks in Hollywood, right? But you want to come get Kevin Samuels, right? What was it about Kevin Samuels that made you want to do that? What made them want to do it? I'm not asking them because I don't expect them to answer. But in the comments, if you feel like you can explain that, please do. I'm gonna leave you guys with Vivica. I just wanted to put that out there because I thought it was kind of funny when I saw the clip yesterday. I'm not surprised. And I do think that people are going to play into this conspiracy theory even more so because they probably feel like certain people who probably want to be in Kevin's position wanted to off him for whatever reason. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. I'm way too fine to be distressed, yeah. Oh, I'm not the girl. I'm way too fine to be distressed, yeah. Oh, I'm not the girl.